Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Some people are so good that they're intimidating. They emanate an aura of, I'm perfect, coupled with, you're not there yet, poor thing. Have you known people like that? There were a lot of them in Jesus' day, the scribes and the Pharisees. Common people looked to them as the ones to emulate. They could always be seen praying, fasting, and giving to the poor. They kept the law meticulously. And when I say the law, I mean all the rules that they made up so they wouldn't have to follow the law. 613 of them. In everyone's eyes, including their own, they were above reproach. So when Jesus said in his Sermon on the Mount, "For I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven," I imagine the collective shock of the crowd. You mean we've got to be better than the scribes and the Pharisees? They've set the bar so high already with their 613 commandments to follow that we can't even remember all the rules, let alone follow them. If we have to be better than them, we've got no chance. And then imagine the Pharisees who heard this. Some probably thought, being perfect is exhausting enough. How much better can I possibly be? Others turned up their noses. This man doesn't know what he's talking about. No one could be more righteous than we are. I imagine Jesus paused a bit before he went on to explain what he meant. He gave 6 different examples that all started with, "You have heard that it was said," and then gave God's viewpoint by saying, "But I say to you." So how does God view anger? Just like murder, because anger is the root of murder. It begins in the heart. Lust is at the heart of adultery. Marriage is sacred. Keeping your word is an integral part of your integrity. God values kindness over revenge, and we should love our enemies as God loves us. Jesus wound up this part of his sermon by raising the bar. He said in verse 48, "Therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect." The perfection of the scribes and Pharisees was no longer the goal. God's perfection was. In my own life, who do I compare myself to? My neighbor across the street hardly even goes to church, and I go every week. But wait, where is the bar? Perfect church attendance, or loving God with all of our heart? My coworker cusses up a blue streak. I would never take the Lord's name in vain. But where is the bar? Speech that is without reproach, or a heart that is thankful in all things? That guy I just saw in the news was convicted of stealing. I would never take something that didn't belong to me. Oh, but where is the bar? Am I not stealing when I waste the time God gives me instead of using it for Him? Judging others and ourselves based on human comparisons can really get us into trouble. We need to realize that our own righteousness, or what we think of as righteousness, is, as Isaiah 64:6 says, filthy rags. We must not look around us to compare ourselves with others, but look up, see God's holiness and perfection, and realize that we are far from perfect. We can't be good enough to get into heaven, at least not on our own. That's why Jesus came, so He could cover us with His righteousness, give us His strength, and guide us into His way of living. Do you find yourself setting the bar too low? Or is Jesus' perfection your bar, what you're striving for with His help?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.